right, good morning, everybody. Delighted to have you back for Abbey Realty Team Meetings July 1 through 2, 2019 version 2.0. We did this class yesterday to about 60 people. This room was absolutely packed. We had people sitting on the staircase, but we had technical problems. We're not able to live stream or record. So thank you for coming back. Thank you for joining us, worldwide viewing audience, for this round 2. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Let me share with you the agenda for today. A word from our sponsors. That's going to be very quick today since we have no sponsors present. Our featured agent also very quick since he gave his presentation yesterday. I am going to share a bunch of news and updates and then leveling up, way up. And what I mean by that is we are not just taking what we do at Abbey Realty to the next level. We are jumping multiple levels. So I'm delighted that you're here to hear all about it. We're going to meet new friends, and that means our new Abbey agents who've joined us since our last meeting. And then we'll get into the training portion of today, which we're rolling out right now, the brand new Abbey University, first class ever Teams Q&A. That's what we'll wrap up today's session with. Our featured agent is John Ballou. I'm going to tell his story since he's not here to defend himself. John got married when he was 19 years old. There he is with his lovely bride. They moved to Texas. I think they started in California, if I remember everything correctly. Made a couple job changes, got stressed out, ballooned up to 268 pounds. Yahoo, I love that part. That means there's hope for me. John got control of things, lost over 100 pounds. This is the new slimmed down John Ballou. John joined Abbey Realty last fall. He was part of a group of wonderful agents that came over to us from a local Woodlands real estate office. We're delighted to have him. The biggest thing he has going in real estate right now is that he has a listing on Kirkendall Road at Kirkendall Luetta for over 100 townhome units that are under construction. And they are about a month away from having the model complete. And he needs Abbey agents to help staff the model 7 days a week. Price point starts at $180,000. You can imagine those duplex units are going to be snapped up like hotcakes. So reach out to John if you have any interest in helping him with that. He made a point of saying that he's Seventh-day Adventist, which means he doesn't work on Saturdays. And Saturday is a huge day for people visiting model homes. So he really does need some assistance for that. So reach out to him if you have any interest in it. His career started with a flip. He did a flip of a townhome up in Panorama Village. You can see the beautiful work that he did there. And that was completed right before the tax day flood. That's the after picture. We should have had a before, after again. So his entrance into real estate was pretty brutal, but he recovered from that, has joined Abbey Realty, and got a fresh start in his career. We're delighted to have him and his beautiful family. And his son, Jesse, on the right, is also an Abbey Realty agent. So you can look for two Ballous in our company. Let's jump into some news and updates. What's going on around the world of Abbey? Our Legal 1 and Legal 2, we started teaching those monthly in June. It was quickly apparent to me after teaching them a couple times, we don't need to be doing them every single month, both of them. So starting in September, we'll be doing Legal 1 the first Wednesday of each month. The next month, Legal 2 the first Wednesday, then Legal 1, then Legal 2. So we'll just teach them each on the first Wednesday of each month, alternating month by month. So as long as you're planning your license renewal 90 days in advance, you're going to be fine. As always, we do not charge Abbey agents. And I had some confusion about this. I had an Abbey agent reach out to me yesterday saying, how come we have to pay for CE classes now? Abbey agents never have to pay for CE classes that are taught in this building by our people, but we do advertise them publicly on Facebook and via email. So if you ever see us advertising courses that we charge for, just know that you don't have to pay. Abbey agents always get it for free. Okay, help me to reinforce that message with other people who see the ads and get confused by it. I'd appreciate it. Our New Agent Essentials class, we've been teaching New Agent Essentials every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. For many, many months, even before we had our own facility. However, we are hiring fewer new agents, and the need for this class has dramatically dropped, and we don't want to just spend all of our teaching resources at a less than maximum effective level. So we're no longer going to be teaching those issues every Thursday. However, if you need help with the basics, setting up your zip form templates and learning how to put together a showing schedule, we do have a plan for that. We're going to incorporate what was taught in New Agent Essentials into our orientation. We do orientation every Friday. In the past, that has been a one-time event. You come to orientation one Friday afternoon, you're done. You got it all in a 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 experience. We're totally revamping orientation. And starting next week, because this Friday's July 5th, so the office is closed, don't come up for classes. But starting the next Friday, this new schedule will be in place. We're rebranding orientation as Abby Fast Start. And it will be 3 sessions, 3 Friday afternoon sessions. So the first Friday of every month will be the Stewart Now app. That's that real handy app you can put on your phone or your laptop that allows you to instantly calculate seller net sheets, buyer closing costs, look up tax information, and then send branded customized reports directly to your client while you're standing there in the kitchen talking about the house. It makes you look like a genius. So Stewart Now will be here at 1 p.m. on the first Friday of every month to get that loaded onto your phone and teach you how to use it. We're also going to cover Abby policies and procedures, and we're going to tour Back Agent. We'll show you all the features on Back Agent, and then we will go deep on how to add a transaction, go all the way through the end, and how to create and submit a CDA. That seems to be the hang up that most agents get. They don't pay much attention to Back Agent until they get a transaction, and then they ignore it until it's time to go to closing, and then they panic. Like, oh my goodness, I want to get paid. It has to do something with Back Agent. What do I do? So we don't want you to be in a panic. So we want you to come first Friday every month. We will absolutely teach you how to do that. I have a new joke, and I'm just warning you in advance, it's a joke, it's not serious, about changing our slogan at Abby Realty from "let's go there together" to "hit the submit button." We're gonna have t-shirts made and everything, because that seems to be the recurring problem. Even when agents, they upload all their documents, they think they've done everything right, they're ready to go to closing, they go to closing, there's no check waiting for them. They're like, well, I did everything right. And we go back, we look it up. No, you uploaded everything, but you never hit that bright orange button that says submit. So we never got a chance to review it. We never got a chance to authorize the CDA and send it to you and the title company. So hit the submit button. My nomination for our new slogan. The second Friday of every month, we're going to teach testimonial tree. We'll go deep on how to get those things created and posted. We're going to teach KV Core. We obviously can't teach everything on KV Core in one afternoon, but we're going to teach you how to build your profile and how to add all your contacts into the database. And then you can plug into Marshall's regular Tuesday morning classes to go deeper on the other functions. The third Friday of every month, we're going to go through the Abby University Business Planning Workshop, formerly known as the Aspire Business Planning Workshop. I'm going to explain a little bit later the why behind the rebrand of both our Monday morning training class and the workshop. It's going to be a 4-hour experience, so 1 to 5 p.m. on this business planning workshop. We're going to start with your aspirations and drill all the way down to the daily tasks that you need to be performing every day in order to fully fund your aspirations. We're doing a new bolt-on before we actually get into the workshop. We're going to lead you through several assessments. You're going to take these little personality tests. One will be on personality, one will be on values, another will be on skills. And we're going to use the results of those assessments to identify a specific style. Style is what we're calling it. You may be more familiar with the term temperament, but it is the sum total of who you are as a person in your work life. Personality, values, and skills. And we will use that to match you to sources of business and strategies that we teach that are going to be very amenable to your personality, to who you are. And I'll go into that much deeper a little bit later in the session today when I roll out our new training template. Okay, does all that make sense so far? Anybody excited yet? I hear them from Zimbabwe and from Russia, from Arkansas. No, we don't train in Arkansas, but yes, the worldwide viewing audience is very excited, and you can be assured they're going wild here in the training room as well. Okay, our beloved and talented new agent essentials instructor, Cheryl Vecchio, what's going to happen to her if we're taking away her class? Well, we are not taking away her opportunity to share her skills and talents. She is the one who will be leading that second Friday orientation class, teaching testimonial tree, KV core, and showing you how to set up your templates in Zip Form Plus. So Cheryl's not going anywhere. We're just redeploying her talents to that second Friday orientation. And I want to make this point as strongly as I can. Yes, Mark? They are. We got a number that says it's stuck on the first slide. Just want to make sure. Oh, okay. It is stuck on the first slide? I don't see any chat to that effect. Hold on here. Hold on. Lauren, Valerie, Jeanette, Chastity Harris. There they are. The slides are not changing. Still, Michelle Carruthers. Okay, thank you guys. Mark has just let me know. Let me see if I can fix this. Let's see what we can do. Screen is what we want. I think we're going to fix this. Hold on. Let me look at my screen options. PowerPoint here. Okay, I am looking. It changed? Yeah. Okay, now let's do a little practice test here. Did it change again? Yes. Okay. Okay, I think we're all good. So thank you guys. I appreciate. I apologize for testing your patience. So I think we're good, Mark. Okay, let's talk about Molly Kate Media very quickly. We rolled out this new technology and media service to our agents several months ago when we plunked down about $4,000 for a Matterport camera. If you've not used this service, it is mind-boggling. It is a 3D walking tour of a property. It zooms in, you see a dollhouse view as if the roof has been lifted off a property. It has the exact furniture, colors, decorations that are actually in the home. And the client, buyer, prospect can click on any area and all of a sudden they zoom down into that room and they can turn in any direction and see what's there. They can click their cursor and walk towards the fireplace to see more detail, or walk down the hall and into the bedroom. So it's a beautiful tool for showing how rooms actually fit together. Floor plans are created. There's actually a virtual reality tour created where you can literally wear the goggles and experience it. All of that has worked beautifully. The challenge that we've had with Molly Kate Media is the still photographs. In some cases, the Matterport camera has taken great stills, and in other cases, honestly, it's probably a photographer issue. We just haven't gotten great shots. And it doesn't help to have all the fancy bells and whistles if the core photographs are not just outstanding. and we're not going to settle for anything less. But we've struggled to get consistency on the still photographs. So we're pausing Molly Kate Media. It's not going away. We've got too much invested in it, and there's too much opportunity for you to steal listings from your competitors using this technology. But we are going to wait until we are able to hire an actual professional real estate photographer who does world-class work. And then we're going to put all our new technology hands in the possession of that photographer. They can still shoot the still photography that they've been doing, then layer on all the Molly Kate tools, and we'll knock it out of the park. And we'll probably wait until we can roll out, along with that, drone photography and twilight photography options. That's always been the vision of Molly Kate, is to offer every possible media opportunity. But if we hire a full-time professional photographer, we should be able to roll all of that out together. I am in the process now of accumulating referrals to great photographers, and I'm asking for your help. If you know one, a photographer that you've worked with that does great work, we can provide them an outstanding opportunity. Imagine being the in-house photographer to 200, and well, now we're at 235 agents. Should be 300 by the end of the year, being the in-house photographer for that many agents, and the opportunities that that would create. So if you know somebody who's great, please send me their contact information and I'll be reaching out to them. Okay. Our photography studio, if you have not been up in the loft yet, you will want to go up there and snoop around. And by the way, ladies, there's another restroom up there. That's news you can use when we take a break and 30 of you head for the bathroom at the same time. We actually have 3 restrooms in this building for ladies. We have one in the hallway that's hidden. Go snoop around, you'll find it by the copy machine. We have the one that everybody knows about, and we have one up in the loft, and they're all available to you anytime. But more importantly, up in the loft, we have our photography studio, and we have professional grade video cameras, still cameras, backdrops, lighting, and we would be delighted to help you with your portrait photography, or if you want to shoot personal promotion videos or consumer education videos. All we ask is that you bring your own SD card, because we're going to shoot everything and we're going to pop out the SD card and hand it to you. And then you can do whatever you want with the footage. That means that we're not going to be editing your videos. And to use them, you'll probably want to have them edited. If you're familiar with iMovie, if you're an Apple user, you can do that. I know that Microsoft has their little free editors. Pixlr is a free editor. Or if you want to pay somebody to do it, you can go on Fiverr. I use them all the time. And they'll do your intros, extras, add graphics, make it really professional at very modest costs. At some point, we want to have a graphic designer on staff. We don't at this time, but we're happy to shoot your portraits and raw videos and let you take it from there. Just let me know. We will be publicized studio times. It may be like Thursday, 2 to 4. Just show up and we'll shoot your videos and photographs. Or just let me know when you want to come, and if I'm available, I'll be happy to do it for you. Okay?
You do portraits?
We do. That's mostly what we've been doing, because we have beautiful backdrops and it's real quick to shoot a portrait. You don't have to remember any lines. You just smile. And if you want us to shoot videos, we're happy to do that, but I do ask that you practice to the point that you can stand up and do your video. What we don't want to do is shoot 17 takes of a 3-minute video. We don't have time for that. But if you can stand up and in 2 or 3 takes, shoot a nice 2 to 3 minute video, we're happy to do that for you. Okay? So go take a look when you need to. It's kind of cool up there. I love it. We are going to be rolling out an opportunity for you in September to take Brian Buffini's Pathway to Mastery's Essentials class. And I will tell you, I've had very mixed emotions about this. I love Brian Buffini. I'm not mixed about that. He and I are 2 peas in a pod. We agree on our philosophies and strategies of business. He's all about sphere of influence marketing. And I've always shared with you that my core conviction is that your first 100,000 in real estate every year should come from your sphere of influence. I've been a Buffini certified mentor since he started offering certified mentor programs 15 years ago. but I've hesitated to do this because he charges. It's $395 for the 9-week class, and we've never charged for any class offered in our building. We will never charge for any classes offered under Abbey University as part of our normal training. And when Michelle Eubanks brought this to me, I'm like, no way, because agents have to pay. But she posted it on Facebook with my blessing, and there were 8 to 10 agents who said they would be delighted to pay, they wouldn't be offended by paying. And so I agreed to get certified as a mentor in this program. I have obtained that certification, and we're going to launch this on the Thursday after Labor Day. You do have to pay. By the way, I don't get a cent. Abbey Realty doesn't get a cent. 100% of that money goes to Brian Buffini and his organization. So in that sense, we're pure on our philosophy. We're not touching the money, okay? I just don't want you to think this is a money-making ploy for us. It's not. But if this is something that you're interested in, go check it out. Just go to buffiniandcompany.com and you can read all about it. It's going to be Thursdays from 10 to noon from September 5th to October 31st. There's also a link to it on the back agent calendar. If you just go to September 5th and opened it up, you'll see a description and a link that will tell you all about it, and you can pay for it through there if you want to. Any questions about that? Yes, ma'am. The last what? Well, they are going to send you a kit. So I would allow at least a week prior to the first class to get that in, and they're also going to give you access to their CRM, but you're going to get lots of tools in your kit. I have the leadership tools already, so at least a week. Okay. Anybody offended by paying by the pay option? Okay, just me. Yes, ma'am. Will we be offering it other times? It really depends on the response to this one. I'm happy to do it as often as required or desired, but we'll see what kind of demand and response we get. Yes?
Will you be making the presentations from 10 to noon, or will it be video?
Yeah, so will I be making the presentations or will it be video driven? It's video driven. I will be the facilitator. I will be there for the full 2 hours. Of those 2 hours, probably 1 hour is a video training, and the rest of it is some accountability. It's reporting on your homework. It's sharing with each other your experience of what happened in the previous week based upon your assignments. So there's a lot of interactive peer sharing in the video, and I'm just there to make sure it all happens. Okay. All right. The office is closed this Thursday and Friday, so don't come up looking for me. I won't be here. But I just wanted to remind you, every one of you has 24/7 access to the building. This is your building. If you want to meet clients, if you want to come up and find a quiet place to work, you're always welcome to do that. Every one of you has a 4-digit personal code to open the front door. And the only other thing you will need is a 4-digit alarm code to turn off the alarm. Because as much as I want you using the building 11:30 on Saturday night, I don't want the phone call from the alarm company or from the police department. So the alarm code, do you know it? 24/7. Don't write that down. It's 2640. Please write that down. Put it in your phone under Abbey Realty. Put our phone number and address in there and put the alarm code. We will change it, every few months to keep people honest. If you do forget it, it's the first 4 digits of our address. And those numbers are on the front of the building. They're also on the mailbox, so you can run out there and look real quick. But your 4-digit to get in the front door, then the 4-digit to turn off the alarm code, and then when you leave, just reset it. And if you have any questions about that, just ask Fatu at the front desk, and she can show you how to do it. Very, very easy. And by the way, I've shared with you all that this building is open to you after hours for personal events. As long as there's no cleanup required, there's no charge. If you're going to have a party or something and we need to use the custodian, it's $100. But just for example, on the 4th of July, that evening, I'm bringing my family up here. And we're going to do some hot dogs around the fire pit and then picnic style. And I think we're even going to have a movie on the big screen. So you're welcome to do that. We had a bridal shower in here last week. and I saw the photographs on Facebook. It was spectacular. I mean, the white linen cloths and all the decorations you ladies do, it was gorgeous. My daughter Abby is probably going to get married in this room a year from now. Yeah, they've set a date sometime in May, and I think we're going to do it here. So I just want to say, we want you to use the building. Okay, so just know it's a resource available to you. All right, so let's get into leveling up way up. And these are some updates primarily to our Abby Agent Training Program. And I just want to make a disclaimer before we get into this. What I'm going to share with you, like 1,000% of this, or at least 999%, came to me while I was on a cruise a couple weeks ago. I love working. I don't feel like I have to take a vacation from work, because when I go to work, that is a vacation for me. I love what I do. But I get up early every morning. My family gets up late. So on the cruise, I had 3 hours every morning to myself, and I'd go up on the 14th deck to the lounge overlooking the whole ship, and I'd have the entire place to myself. And for 3 hours, I could read and pray and think and write, and came out of that week with the most fruitful strategic planning time I've ever had in my life. And what came out of that is what I'm going to share with you in the next few minutes. And I don't feel like I'm going to set you up for disappointment by saying, set your expectations high. I am so excited about this and the opportunity that every one of you are going to have to dramatically accelerate your progress in your real estate career. I think we're going to be doing things, as you're going to see in the next few minutes, that nobody else is doing, at least nobody else in the real estate industry. We are truly taking this to levels that no one else has gone to, and I'm pretty pumped about it. So let's dive in. Agent training programs. We are rebranding our internal training programs under the Abby University label. And there's a specific reason for doing that. And let me explain the backdrop of that. When we started Abby Realty, we had nothing to offer agents but training. We had no staff, no technology, no building. I just said, let's just get together once a week and I'll share what I know about building a highly profitable sales business. That was the only value we had to offer agents. We opened the company on a Tuesday. We started training the next Monday, and we haven't stopped since. However, I knew that training was going to be probably our greatest appeal to agents who weren't currently with us. And those agents probably didn't want to attend an Abby class. So I branded our training program as Aspire, kind of a neutral word, so we can go out and teach the Aspire workshop, or we can teach geofarming or demo farming or sphere marketing under a more neutral label, and other agents would feel more comfortable coming. That's still true, and there's still a place for Aspire in our company, which I'll explain in just a moment. But I feel like it's important to rebrand our internal training, our proprietary training, as Abby University for this reason. To go to the highest levels of training, we have to incorporate tools and technologies which are uniquely available to Abby agents. And if we're just doing a generic style training class that we can teach here and teach out there, it can't incorporate these tools and technologies and supports that are only available to you. And so in a sense, we dumb it down, and you're the ones who pay the price for that. I don't want that to happen going forward. In fact, I'm going to share with you the excruciating level to which we're going to go to incorporate things like Testimonial Tree and KV Core and Molly Kate Media into our actual training classes. So these are Abby classes. They're for Abby agents. Other agents who attend them could be inspired by them, but they're not going to be able to implement the specific strategies and tasks that we teach. And so when you hear a class in the future, an Abby University class, you're going to know, boy, it's going to be 100% Abby. And it's going to be stuff that's already been provided to you. All these tools and technologies and supports layered into the strategies and tasks that we're showing you how to use to extract required transactions from these lead sources. I'm really pumped about it. because it's going to give us an opportunity to give you a much more detailed roadmap within each of the strategies that we teach. Our classes are going to be more valuable than ever before because of that. We're still going to offer some Aspire classes out there. We'll dumb down the version. We'll pull out the tools so we can teach out there, but only they will get the dumbed down version and you will get the smart version. Does all that make sense? So that's why we're rebranding, and so you'll understand the difference. Here is the new 7-step training model that is going to show up in all of our Abbey University classes. They're all going to follow this template. And before I explain it to you, I want somebody to explain to me why there's a man with a giant watermelon on the screen. Oh, you are so in tune with the mind of Abby. Yes. Or as our president would say, this is huge. It's huge what I'm sharing with you. And I want you to open your mind to that. If you can grasp the power of what is on your screen right now, let me walk you through it step by step by step. Let me just list them, and then I'm going to go deeper on each one. But every training class we offer is going to follow this template. The source of business, we're going to identify it. The style match, I spoke about that a little bit earlier. Your temperament, skills, values, and personality. Supporting beliefs. The strategy within that source of business. The systems necessary to operate the strategy. The skills necessary to operate the systems that we teach. And then finally, the standards or performance standards that you can expect if you decide to launch these strategies within that source of business. And if I lost you at any point, stick with me. I'm going to go deeper on each one. Source of business. Where is the lead coming from? Where did I meet this person? That's all we mean by source of business. And I've just put tons of examples on the screen for you. Sphere of influence is a source of business. My friends bought a house from me. That's a sphere source. Relocation companies. Cardis sent me a lead. That's a source of business. Where'd you get that client? I got it from Cardis. That was the source. So source of business is where the leader relationship came from. They could be investors, 55 plus, business networking, outbound calls, demo farm, geo farm, my credit repair clinic, whatever you're doing to generate that lead, that is the source. Does that make sense? Source of business. We're going to identify the source in every class. Second, we're going to match the style or temperament of the agent that is going to do well within that source of business. And let me tell you why I think this is critical. This is the leveling up that we're doing in our training right now. It has been distressing to me for years, the failure rate in our industry. And I think you're well familiar with the statistics. 80% of agents never even renew their license. They never make it to the 2-year mark. They never complete their SAEs. By 2 years, if they haven't gotten traction in their business, they've already run out of money. Their spouse is fed up with this real estate thing, and they've gone back to work at Home Depot or somewhere else where they can actually get a steady paycheck. And I find that distressing because I know that that agent launched a real estate sales career with dreams and aspirations that are suddenly lying in the dust. And it likely cost them dearly in self-esteem and in finances to come to that kind of ruin. And I hate that. That distresses me. And it has occurred to me that one of the reasons it happens with such regularity is that agents, when they get into this business, jump into certain sources of business. Maybe they're trying to work with seniors, or they're trying to do first-time home buyers, or they're trying to do a geo farm, or they're trying to make outbound calls. And their personality is completely unsuited for that source of business or for the strategy required to extract business from that source. And so they find themselves grinding it out and trying to do the right thing and put in the time and make the calls or send out the letters or post the ads on social media. And it is painful throughout the entire process. So they hate what they're doing. And because of that, they cannot sustain the activity long enough to actually produce results. They work at something really hard for a week or 2 weeks or 30 days. They don't get any results because they're not good at it. They're not a natural fit for it. They hate doing it the entire time. And the prospects they're trying to reach realize it because you're so unnatural and uncomfortable doing it. So then you jump on to the next thing. Well, how do you find the next thing? You heard another agent was really successful doing it. They made $1 zillion. Well, I want $1 zillion, so I'm going to go do that. And again, it's a mismatch by personality or temperament. And so you go through the same cycle again. You burn through that 3 or 4 times. Now you're out of money, you're out of energy, you're out of spousal support, and soon you're out of business. So what I'm trying to do with Abby agents is put you through these assessments so that you have a very good sense of what you're good at and what you enjoy doing, what is natural for you to do in a work environment, and then match that to a source and strategy that's in line with your strengths. So that now it's not a grind for you to do that thing. There's been a buzz phrase in the business world in general and real estate in particular for a number of years. Y'all finish it for me. Get out of your head? Is that a scary place? Do we need to beware of your head? That may be a saying. What you're typically going to hear is get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. Go do the uncomfortable thing. And there's some truth to that because anytime we do something new for the first time, it's a little uncomfortable. But if it's in an area of strength, you'll bust through that discomfort very quickly. You'll do it 2 or 3 times. You're like, okay, I got this, and you'll be eager to go. That's how you know you're working in an area of natural strength. And what I want to do, which I don't think has been done in our industry before, and I've done extensive research on this to be able to make this statement. I don't think it's ever been done in the real estate industry. I want to match your personal style to sources and strategies of business so that after these assessments, you'll be able to say, a person like me tends to have great success in this type of real estate business, or in this one, or in this one. So that when you dive in and begin implementing those tasks, it's fun for you. You enjoy it. And that means you'll be able to sustain the activity over time. And when you're actually interacting with the clients, you don't act like you're constipated because you hate it so much. But in fact, you enjoy that type of business. And so we're going to put you through these assessments. We've already identified them. I've already taken them. Others on our team have already taken them. And maybe even over the 4th of July weekend, I'm going to be identifying styles and sources and matching them together so that when we teach a new class, and let's just say it's cold calling, I can say, if you're one of these styles, and that might be a penguin, or an ox or a falcon, you're going to do great in cold calling. You should be here. But if you're a teddy bear, you should probably stay home. Okay, this class isn't for you. You should come to our Spear class. You should come to our business networking class. Teddy bears tend to do well there. And I'm making all this up. You realize that, don't you? I don't have teddy bears and koalas and penguins yet, but I'm going to do something like that so that you'll be able to identify very easily the classes that are very compatible with your personality. And then you don't waste time, energy, and money trying to do something that's incongruent with who you are. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm going very deep on that, but it's huge. Okay, I should bring the watermelon back. It's huge. And I think it's going to make a tremendous impact on many, many agents within our company. All right, supporting beliefs. We will list and discuss the beliefs necessary to sustain, productive activity for each source of business. We have done this sporadically in our classes in the past. We're going to do them consistently going forward. And what I mean by that is when we teach a particular source of business, I'm also going to teach the beliefs, the thoughts that drive productive behavior within that source of business. This has been another huge disconnect in our industry. And you can see it when agents go to conferences or they go to a seminar and they hear about a new source or strategy and they come back so excited to do it. And they only do it for a day or two and then it drops away. They no longer sustain the activity. It could have been a style mismatch. It could also have been that the agent didn't have the proper beliefs to drive consistent behavior. If you think about the highest producing agents in the real estate industry, they have the same 24 hours that the rest of us have, but they're making zillions of dollars. How does that happen? Are they all Harvard MBAs? No, it's not their education. Are they all Mensa's top 2% IQ? No, I've met them. That's not it. What's the difference? Within the hours of their 24 that they devote to their career, they perform different activities. They do different things than you do, than I do. And as a result of those activities, that enables them to generate such incredible results. Well, how do they do that? It starts in their mind. They have different beliefs. And those highly productive beliefs drive highly productive behavior. Very simply, they believe different things than most agents believe. And because beliefs drive behavior, they end up behaving in much more productive ways. So with every source that we share with you, we're also going to tell you the beliefs that will enable you to implement those strategies so that you can engage in highly productive behavior over time. If I just met you today and I observed your behavior over the next 30 days, followed you around with a little camera, and I didn't even hear what you said. I heard no words that came out of your mouth, but I saw what you did for 30 days. I would be able to tell you what you believe better than you know yourself. Because behavior doesn't lie. Behavior is the window to our mind. That's what shows, because we can deceive ourselves. We can say we are a certain way, we believe a certain thing, we value a certain thing, but self-deception is real. It's our behavior that doesn't lie. And our behavior is always consistent with what we believe, with what we truly believe, whether we're in touch with that or not. You can intentionally choose the thoughts and beliefs that drive your behavior. That's why we're going to do this. I'm going to expose you to the beliefs that will drive productive behavior, and then you'll have the opportunity to say, you know what? That doesn't line up with what's in my head right now. Well, now we need to get out of our head. There we go. That's what you meant. We're going to get out of that stinking thinking place, and we're going to intentionally choose more positive, more productive beliefs. And you can actually change your conscious mind. You can change the things that you believe. You can change the tape that runs in your head and tells you who you are and what's possible. We're going to share with you the beliefs you need to adopt and the mechanisms to adopt them, how you can do that, how you can transform what you think and believe. And as a result, you'll be able to take consistent action. The strategy, this is where we have done 80% of our teaching in the past. If we're teaching GeoFarm, we're teaching a proven strategy to become the dominant agent in your preferred neighborhood. And these strategies work. They have been proven to work. But I think they have been less effective than they could be for a number of reasons. One, we didn't have a style match. Every agent was trying to do it instead of those who have natural strengths in those areas. Another, we weren't teaching the supporting beliefs, and so agents were trying to do things that were misaligned with their dominant thoughts, and therefore they couldn't sustain the activity. But now that we have the style match and the supporting beliefs, we're going to be able to lay out these strategies. But even within the strategies, we're going to go to a level we haven't gone before. Again, because it's Abbey University, we're going to show you how to do this particular thing using testimonial tree. We're going to show you how to use the tools within KV Core to become the dominant agent in your preferred neighborhood. So within our GeoFarm and our SOI marketing classes and our social media classes and our 55 plus and our first time home buyer classes, we're going to show you how to utilize all the tools we've made available to you to implement these strategies. Does that make sense? And we're going to go to a granular level of detail that we've never gone to before. And you're going to love this. You're actually going to walk out of our classes with a checklist. How do I create a demographic farm? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you literally just go down the checklist and mark it off one at a time. I put a beautiful picture up here, and the caption is paint by number. It's a beautiful portrait, wouldn't you agree? Beautiful painting. You could do that. You can paint that. That's a paint by number painting. You put the number 3 fuchsia on the number 3. You put the number 2 teal, number 2 teal. That's what we're going to do with our classes. We're going to enable everybody to be an incredible artist when it comes to implementing these strategies, because we're going to drill down to the paint by number level. If you can read and follow instructions, you'll be able to implement our strategies. Is that exciting?
Yes.
It's exciting to me because I know it's going to impact your productivity. Now, let me share this with you. It's kind of cool too. We have ordered custom binders. I'm going to show you a picture of them in a minute, because we're going to be distributing these checklists. Whenever we teach a class, we're going to publish the written strategies checklists in advance. And you'll be able to print them, put them in your notebook, and bring them to class. So that while we're teaching it, you can make your notes or ask questions. And over time, you are going to accumulate an incredible library of lists of what to do to generate business in your preferred sources that match your natural strength. More about that in a minute. After strategy comes skills. This is another area that we have really given no attention to in the past, but I feel like it's going to take our training to another level. Your strategies contain a list of tasks. I just talked about that. But sometimes even having the paint by number list in front of you doesn't mean that you can actually do it. You know, just because a pitcher says that he throws a 90-mile-an-hour fastball by using a 2-finger grip and then throwing his hand all the way around his hip and then whipping it around over the plate, that doesn't mean I can walk up to the mound and do that. Does that make sense? Just having a detailed description of what's to be done doesn't necessarily mean I have the skills to implement it. And so we're going to be allowing time in class and then giving specific homework assignments for skill development that's not amenable to the classroom setting, so that you can get these skills. And let's give you just a very easy, quick example. We in our teaching our seller conversion class, we may give you the script for how to respond if a seller would ask for a discount on their commission. Would you agree that that sometimes happens around a kitchen table? Hey, you sound great, and I love your marketing plan, and that Matterport media, oh my goodness, I can't imagine. But Sally Q Realtor told me she'd do it for 2%. Will you do it for 2? What do you say? We can give you the script for how to respond. But would you agree that just having the words may not mean that those words can flow naturally from your lips? You might stutter over it. You might feel insecure saying that. You may not be good memorizing things. So even just giving it to you is not necessarily enough. So we'll be taking time. Like for example, with this specific issue in class, let's role play that. Let's partner up. Let's let our brain hear these words coming out of our mouth. Let's do it 10 times in a row. Now close your book. Well, Mr. Agent, that sounds like a great marketing plan, but Joe Bob will do it for 2%. Will you? And then you let those words just roll naturally off your lips. That's what we mean by skills. Making sure that once you have the description of the task, you have the capability to implement it at a high level. Some of it will be done in class, and some of it with particular after-class assignments to enable you to develop those skills. Does that make sense? All right. How are we doing out there in chat land? Y'all still with us? 14 of you. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you, Laura. Lori, I appreciate that. Okay. Standards. This is number 7 in our 7-point plan. And when I say standards, it's performance standards. In other words, when you start implementing these tasks within a specific source of business, what kind of results can you expect? How much input is going to yield X amount of output? Wouldn't that be helpful to know in advance? Because in our Abbey University Business Planning Workshop, one of the things you're going to identify is your transaction benchmark, the number of transactions you need to close given your average commission rate and your average commission to fully fund your lifestyle needs and aspirational needs. And let's just say that in your case, that's 25 transactions. We're then going to lead you through a process where you identify the source of business for each of those 25 transactions. And it might be 5 from open house and 7 from sphere of influence and 6 from my geo farm. We're going to count for all 25. But just accounting for them doesn't make them show up in your business. And if you need, let's just say 5 transactions from your sphere of influence, and you implement our strategy, how many closings can you expect in your first 12 months? Wouldn't that be helpful to know? Particularly if I'm only mailing or reaching out to 200 homes versus 400 or versus 175. And so we're going to share with you the specific activities that you need to implement with a specific number of prospects in order to get an industry benchmark result. And it will go like this. Let's just use sphere of influence. And these are not exact activities. I'm just making these up on the fly for examples. For every 100 homes, you need to send a postcard every month. You need to host a community event twice a year. You need to go door to door twice a year with a bag of goodies, including note cards and football schedules, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Per 100 homes, you can expect 1 closed listing in your first 12 months. With the same activities repeated the second year, you can expect 3 closed transactions per 100 homes. In your third year, you can expect 5 closed transactions per 100 homes. Well, in my farm area, I have 200 homes. That means I can expect 2 closings my first year, 6 closings my second year, and 10 closings my third year. Wouldn't that be helpful to know? And then I can budget accordingly, and I can make sure that the commissions that I'm going to make from those particular closings provide an outstanding return on investment for the money that I'm putting into the marketing and to the time and energy that I'm putting into it. And then you can compare that to the other sources of business. Perhaps you have a personality type that lends itself to 7 or 8 different sources of business, but you're only going to focus on 3 or 4. Now you can compare the performance standards within each and the budget requirements within each and say, well, even though I have 8 to choose from, these 3 or these 4 are going to generate the greatest return for the amount of input. I'm going to go with these 3 or 4. But on these performance standards, it's also going to have the checkoff box for the activities required by you. So every month, did you send the postcard? Every 6 months, did you do the walking tour, dropping off the bags? Every 6 months, did you organize the community event? So you're actually tracking your activities and tracking actual results. And again, we're benchmarking against industry standards. It may be that in your first year of 100 homes, you had 2 closings instead of 1. Well, now you have options. You can scale back your marketing to get the 1 desired result, or you can scale up if there's more homes in your neighborhood, knowing that you're getting twice the expected results. So it puts you in complete control of your business. And it is that mirror, these performance standards, the tracking mechanisms, the spreadsheets that we're going to give you with each strategy allow you to hold up the mirror and say, where's the breakdown? I didn't get the desired results. Oh, but guess what? Out of the 12 months, I only sent the postcard 8 times. And out of the 2 community events, I only did 1. And you're going to be able to see exactly why you're not getting the results or why your results are exceeding expectations. Does that make sense? So I think it's going to put you in full control of your business so that when your business plan requires 5 transactions from a particular source of business, you know exactly what's going to be required to extract those 5 transactions. And if you don't get them, your performance standards will tell you why. Make sense? I know I keep saying that, but I just want to track and make sure everybody's with me. So what's the big deal about all of this? Why am I so excited? Why do I say we're leveling up, we're jumping levels, skipping levels in doing this? In the past, we focused almost exclusively on strategies. That's one of the 7, but the other 6 were fairly neglected. We provided no direction on which sources of business to choose. We were sporadic on identifying supporting beliefs. Strategies were described in generalities. Tasks did not include the utilization of Abbey resources. We left it to agents to develop the skills to implement the tasks, and no performance standards were provided. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? Like we've been so neglectful. Actually, just providing proven strategies is good. Most brokerages aren't doing that on a daily basis. And just at good level, we're 235 agents, 18 months in, one of the fastest growing real estate companies in Texas. And I want to emphasize that because I'm not dissing what we have done in the past. I'm very happy with what we've done in the past. But we can't stop growing. We can't stop getting better. And that's what this is about. Here's the good to great that we're moving to, a comprehensive 7-step approach. It will provide tools to enable you to identify sources that match your personal style. We'll identify the supporting beliefs consistently. The strategies will provide task lists for every required activity. We will utilize our in-house tools, KV Core, Testimonial Tree, Matterport, Molly Kate Media, and more. We'll provide for skill development in class or homework assignments outside of class, and give you the ability to track all of your activities against industry norms. That is going from good to great. And I think it is going to make a profound impact on our productivity. Somebody who's been listening the last few months, tell me, what is the only numerical goal that we have within Abbey Realty? Thank you, Valerie. You're on it. If you want it exactly, go out to the cafe and look at our mission, vision, values, maxim poster that's on the wall. It's there for a reason, to reinforce these truths. But you're on the right track. The only numerical goal we have in our company is not to have a gazillion agents. We are not focusing on agent growth or recruiting. We're focusing on agent productivity, helping you make more money. And our only numerical goal is this: to attain and maintain the highest per agent productivity of any large real estate brokerage in the state of Texas. When we achieve that goal, that means you as a whole, on the average, will be making more money than agents at any other large brokerage in the entire state of Texas. That's going to be worth celebrating, isn't it? That's what drives me. That's why on my cruise I get up for 3 hours before the family and do this kind of thinking and planning so that we can implement and give you the support and tools that you need to achieve that. And that's the big deal. That's what I'm excited about. This is going to enable us to get there. And by the way, we're well on our way. This is not some 5-year plan to become the single most productive large real estate brokerage in Texas. At the rate we're going, and particularly with the implementation of these new strategies, I am reasonably confident we'll be there before the end of this year. And if we don't make it then, first quarter of next year. And what that means in terms of numbers is that we will be closing an average of 12 to 15 transactions per agent. And some of you might be, well, 12 to 15, I'm already doing 25. I'm talking about an overall company average. Yes, we've got agents doing 60, but we're hiring new licensees. We're hiring agents who are struggling to get traction in their business. And I'm saying overall average. Think about that. If we have 300 agents and we're hitting those numbers, that means we're going to be closing 300 plus transactions every month. There is not a real estate brokerage in Texas doing that. And I am very confident that we're going to be there by this time next year. I'm reasonably confident we'll be there well before this time next year. So that's the big deal. The opportunity we have to impact your productivity, which changes your life. It changes your family. It gives you all kinds of options. So over the next 6 months, and by the way, I've mapped out every class we'll be teaching between now and the end of the year. And believe it or not, we only have 19 more Monday mornings or 19 more opportunities for Abbey University classes in 2019. 19 in 2019, there's our buzzword. And we're going to be focusing on these 19 classes on 2 tracks. Number 1, for individual agents. If you're not a team, that means you're an individual. We're going to focus on maximizing your personal productivity, which means getting you up to 30 to 30 transactions per year if you aspire to do so. And I am completely comfortable if you say, I don't want to work that hard. I don't need to. I have a working spouse. I'm retired. I've got a trust fund check. I only want to do a transaction a month. I only want to do 10 or 12 a year. There is a place for you at Abbey Realty. We love you and you're welcome, and we will help you do that. Most agents have financial aspirations to go well beyond what they're experiencing right now. And your capacity as an individual agent is somewhere in the 30 to 36 transaction range. In other words, that's all you can handle in a year. And I realize there are some superstars who might push that number beyond, but most skilled agents working hard, if you're focusing on buyers, really about 30 is all you'll be able to do. If you're mostly getting listings, then you can push that up closer to the 3 a month or 36 range. Sellers take a little bit less time than buyers. So somewhere in 30 to 36 is your max capacity before you're going to have to think about starting a team, getting a transaction coordinator, hiring a buyer's agent, that kind of thing. So our classes are going to be focused on maximizing your personal productivity. The second track that we're going to be teaching, these classes are going to be interwoven throughout the next 19 sessions, is how to build a great team to any level of aspiration, unlimited transaction potential. Who do you hire first? How do you compensate them? What is their job description? How do I know I'm ready? Well, some of those questions I'm going to answer today in our Abbey University class on Teams Q&A. But we're going to go deep, deep, deep on those issues between now and the end of the year. And I want to say to all of you in the room, because you're all individual agents right now, even the classes that we teach on teams are going to be extremely relevant to your business. And here's why. As an individual agent, you are a team of one. There are many hats in your business. Buyer specialist, listing specialist, transaction coordinator, marketing coordinator, runner, and guess what? You're wearing all the hats. You are all those roles in your business. When you start a team, it's this simple. You take off one of those hats and you put them on someone else. What we're going to do when we teach the team's strategies is we're going to show you exactly what a buyer specialist does. Remember our 7-point template? We're going to give you the tasks, the checklists for buyer specialist activities. When we teach transaction coordination, we're going to give you the list, every task that must be done as a transaction coordinator. As an individual agent, you need to know that, don't you? Wouldn't that be helpful? I suspect you're missing a few things right now. Or even if you get it right one time, can you duplicate that the next time? Because most individual agents have their checklists where? Up here, right? In their head. Well, I know how to do that. I've done it 100 times. Yes, but you won't do it exactly the same way every time. And that means there's always opportunity for something critical to be missed. And let me just share with you from a broker perspective, I've been in the broker role now for 18 months. I was in a management role for many years before that in another company. I will tell you that the agents who generate the most broker complaints, E&O issues, and I mean by that lawsuits, and TREC complaints are experienced agents. It's not the newbies. The newbies are too scared to make a mistake. So they ask a lot of questions and they get a lot of help and they triple check their work. It's the experienced agents who think they know what they're doing, who get sloppy and make mistakes, and the option fee doesn't get delivered in time, and they're not monitoring the financing period, and that goes by. And that's what triggers the complaints and the lawsuits. So even if you are an experienced individual agent, you need to be attending our team classes, getting these checklists and implementing them in your business. And then when we maximize your personal productivity and you have financial aspirations or lifestyle aspirations that go beyond that, financial meaning you want to make more money, or lifestyle could mean I don't want to work so hard, but I don't want to take a pay cut. The answer to both of those is to start a team. And it's going to be so easy. If you build your business as an individual agent, as a team, it makes it so easy to hire another person, take off a hat, and put it on them. That's what we're going to teach you how to do. So it all starts next week. On Monday, we're going to teach our first Abbey University class using this model. And it's going to be maximizing your personal productivity through sphere of influence marketing. Now, I've taught sphere of influence marketing for years and years and years. That's what Matheny teaches. I've taught it through his classes and programs as well. But this is going to be filtered through our 7-step model. So it's going to go to levels of detail never gone to before in our classes. So even if you've done our sphere classes, you're going to want to come to this. Find out if you're a style match. And let me just give you a clue. Even without taking an assessment, I can tell you you're a style match. How do I know that? Do you have friends? Do you have family? Do you know anybody who likes you? Then you are compatible with sphere of influence marketing. It's just how to reach out to people who already know you to consistently offer your services as a real estate professional, and then consistently grow the number of people in that circle. So everybody's a match for sphere of influence marketing. I mentioned that we're going to have notebooks. We are actually going to have them in time for next week's class. We've ordered them. They're due to be delivered later this week. They're going to be really nice royal blue 3-ring binders. They'll say Abbey Realty on the front. Can anybody read what the spine says? Everything I need to succeed. I want you, when you look at your bookshelf or you look at your desk and you see this binder, like, oh, that's it. No more squirrel in this business. No more running off to this seminar, that workshop, or learn what that agent did over there. Everything that you need to achieve at levels necessary to fund your aspirations is going to be in that binder. We're going to give you the notes and the checklists every single week. And I just want you focusing on that. If you do that, you'll get those 25 transactions, those 36 transactions, those 65 transactions, and fully fund your aspirations. By the way, when we do things like this, it's on a cost recovery basis. We don't have funding to provide, $1,000 worth of notebooks. But if you want one, you can buy it at our cost, what we pay for it. And with shipping and the customization and the binders themselves, it's $10 a piece. So we'll have them in stacks next week. You'll just sign a list if you want one, just sign your name and take one. And then when you get your quarterly bill for copies or brochures or pocket folders or notebooks, it'll show up on there. And has anybody gotten one of those yet, by the way? A bill? Okay. Did you know we charge for copies?
Yes.
We started that in June, I think. So you have your 4-digit code that opens the front door, also operates the copier for you. And it's 5 cents for black and white copies and 15 cents for color. And if you don't think that's a great deal, go over to Office Depot and see what they charge. Okay, many times more than that. Again, that's done on a cost recovery basis. That's what we pay, and so we just pass through to you. But we'll send out every 3 months. You'll get a little QuickBooks online invoice that you can just pay online, and it will include copies or any personal supplies you've picked up from the front desk, including these binders. Okay, make sense? By the way, these are fancy binders. Did I tell you that? They're not the little cheap vinyl things. On the inside, they've got a business card holder, a holder for a flash drive, and a little pin loop. They're very nice. I haven't seen them in person yet, but we bought the really high quality ones. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is put your business card in there. You know why? Yours is going to look like everybody else's. There may be 30 of them in the room. So you need to be able to pick it up and quickly identify which one is yours. And for those of you in our regional team meetings, shout out to you guys, Conroe, Cypress, Katy, League City, Clear Lake. We'll send some with your team leaders so that you can get access to the notebooks as well. All right. We're not only upgrading our live classes, that's what I've been talking about. We are taking online training to a never before seen level in the real estate industry. I'm not claiming to be the pioneer in American business, because there are Fortune 500 companies who've been doing this for a long time. Our mortgage company, Academy Mortgage, National Mortgage Company, they do this. This is how they train their loan officers around the country. They do it online. We are in the process of putting together the platform to enable you to take our regular training classes, our CE classes, our Legal 1, our Legal 2, all online. And our regional teams, that should be great news for you. But beyond that's all cool. But we're going to do something, again, that's not been done in real estate. We're going to offer learning specialization tracks. So you can become a luxury home marketing specialist, a waterfront specialist, a senior specialist, first-time home buyer specialist, whatever area of business that plays to your natural strengths that you want to develop, we're going to have a learning track for that. And Carolyn Covington, who's up in the loft, working away right now, she's our summer intern. She has been working for about 3 weeks now and has our first class, should be ready today to submit to TREC for online CE credits. And it's not just putting the material online. When it's online, you have to have all kinds of checks and balances to verify who it is on the other end. And you got to do little pop-up quizzes throughout and all those kind of things. She's putting all that together. We got a couple online learning platforms that she's syncing together to make that happen. Once we get approval from TREC for our first class, we'll know we're on track. That we have the mechanism to deliver this that they approve of, and then it's pedal to the metal. We hope to have, it's about a 6-week approval process with TREC. So before Carolyn goes back to the University of Miami, we want to have our first one online and ready, approved by TREC. And then at that point, we will be hiring somebody as an online distance learning coordinator to start building these learning tracks. And the learning track is not just a class. It'll be multiple classes. It'll have comprehension exams. It'll have sample marketing materials, homework assignments, and you'll be uploading your stuff. It'll be reviewed. The distance learning coordinator will be helping you through the entire process. And at the end of it, you will get a certification. You'll be an ABBY certified luxury home marketing specialist, or whatever that learning track is. And we will ultimately have, that's kind of a bachelor's level. It's a university. We'll be offering master's level. So if you accumulate several certifications within a particular area of business, so say it's commercial real estate, and you get the leasing certification and the warehouse certification and the raw land certification, then perhaps there will be a master's certification granted for commercial real estate, something like that. There's just really no limit to where we can take it. So that's where we're headed. Again, we want our first class available, Trek approved by the time Carolyn goes back in August, and then we want to start layering on a new learning track, an entire track every month after that. So I think it's going to be awesome. And I think I'm overusing that word, but it's where I live right now. We've already reserved abbeyuniversity.com, spireuniversity.com. And then I think what we're going to do once we get this platform built, we will do dumbed down Aspire versions, in other words, not tied into Abbey tools and technologies, and we will license those to real estate companies outside our market area. So a company in Lubbock or Austin or Little Rock or Pittsburgh who wants to offer the classes and the learning tracks that we will sell them a license to do that. And then they can rebrand and call it XYZ Realty University or whatever. So that doesn't really impact you, but inside the mind of Frank, I just sometimes these ideas just kind of have to get out. And I'm not good at keeping secrets. So if it's in my brain, it's coming out my mouth. So there we go. That's kind of where we're headed with online learning. Does that make sense? You follow me there? Any questions about that?
So this isn't necessarily designations, but it's certifications.
It's the same thing. Every designation or certification is granted by somebody. It could be HAR, it could be the Graduate Realtor Council, any organization can grant a certification or designation. We're just going to grant our own. And it's not like a university that has to be accredited by a third-party organization. No, you're just an Abbey certified. We have said you're good at this, and we're allowed to do that. All right? Okay, so the Aspire Business Planning Workshop, yes, it's getting a redo as well. It will be rebranded as the Abbey University Business Planning Workshop, as I mentioned earlier, but it's not just in name only. We're going to be reworking some of the components. It was a 7-step model in the past. It's now going to be an 8-step model because we're adding a component right at the very beginning, expand your mind. Because so often we have seen it, we've been teaching this workshop now for over a year. We've put hundreds of agents through it. And agents will go, they'll walk out with the business plan and then never implement the plan. And I think part of it is they really don't believe it's possible. Well, I know Joe Bob over there can sell 36 homes a year, but nobody in my family's ever done that. Okay. Or I know that guy on the radio, he sells 1,000 homes a year, but he must be rich. He must be smart. He must be better looking than I am. All these limiting beliefs. So we're going to address that directly in an expand your mind section right at the beginning to get people's minds unshackled and opened up to really believe that there's nobody achieving at breakthrough levels who has fewer or better opportunities to do so than you do. You have the same chance. You can do the same thing. The only limitation we all have is the 24 hours a day. We just, as hard as we try, we can't get 25. Okay? But otherwise, if they've done it, we can do it. If they did it, you can do it. We're going to work on that. Then we're going to move into the style section, discover your style. Then it'll be select your lead sources. Now that you've got your style, you can match the sources. So we're going to choose your 4 to 5 primary sources of business right up front. Then we'll introduce that 7-step sales success model, our training template. We don't have time to go into it for all the sources of business, but we're going to say, yeah, for open house, for sphere of influence, for first-time home buyers, we have all these classes, and here's where you can access them, whether it be on YouTube or on our Abbey University learning platform or in our live training classes. Here's our schedule. We're going to show you where to access it. Then it moves into client service, negotiating, managing the transaction, and creating clients for life. Those last 3 or 4 are the same we've always been teaching, but we will be integrating our tools and technology at a level we've not done before. Aspire was specifically an outreach tool. We will have a dumbed down version of us, which will remain Aspire, but the Abbey University is going to go to a new level of helpfulness because of the integration with our tools. Very excited about that. All right. Okay, there it is. 11:25, Valerie's back. So let's go ahead and dive in. Next news and update I want to share with you is a new certification that's going to be available to every one of you, and that is the Abbey Certified Master Agent. And this is a seal that you'll get to use in your marketing materials and put in your email signature. It'll be a conversation piece that you can share with your clients, that your brokerage has recognized you as an elite agent. And the reason that we're doing this is frankly to motivate you and encourage you to take advantage of all the tools and resources that we're providing to you. So here's the criteria to be an Abbey Certified Master Agent. You have to use our university planning model, that 8-step model I just rolled out to you, or be using the Aspire model if you took the workshop previously. But we want you to be operating from a comprehensive business plan. You're not just lead generating all the time, but you have a personal brand. You're working in sources that play to your natural strength. You're servicing your clients at a high level. You're managing the transaction at a high level. You're servicing after the sale to create clients for life, that you have a comprehensive approach to your business, such as we teach in the workshop. That's important. So it's a healthy, balanced, not leaving anything to chance approach. Number 2, you're using Abbey tools. The KB Core, Testimonial Tree, Molly Kate Media. These are an integral part of your business. We wouldn't require that to be certified if they were not helpful tools. But we know sometimes you just need a little bit extra encouragement to figure out what that testimonial tree is all about. Well, that's part of what this is. If you're doing everything else but testimonial tree to get your certification, we want you to focus on that and learn it, because we know if you start saturating the social media world with positive reviews of your service on Zillow, on Google, on Yelp, on your website, that can't do anything but help grow your business. So we want you doing that. Use Abbey sponsors. Use our title companies. Use our mortgage companies. Use our landscapers, our electricians, our plumbers, our pool people. Again, these are the people who are paying for all your technology resources. And they're good. I either have personal experience with them or our agents have highly recommended them. And you can be assured if we ever have a bad experience, you can bring it to my attention. They will fix the problem. You have extra clout when you use one of our sponsors. It's not just you. It's the power of 235 agents and all of their clients. That's the business that's on the line. So when you recommend these sponsors to your clients and when you use them personally on the transaction, you can be guaranteed your clients and you are going to be getting the absolute best service possible. We want you to use them. So we don't have the numbers worked out on that yet, but we're gonna drill it down. And it may be a certain number of referrals to our sponsors within the last 12 months or something, but we're gonna require you to document as part of the certification process which of our vendors you're making referrals to on a regular basis. Showing up at Abbey meetings. It's not enough to be great. We want you to be here oozing out on the rest of us. If you've already attained that nirvana state, we want you sharing it with us. So show up at our meetings. And then close 30 plus transactions a year. In other words, I'm doing all the right things and I'm getting the right results. And we're gonna be incorporating some of these standards with our certified mentors as well. Yes, use the tools, teach the tools, but get the results the tools will bring. We don't want people representing us as mentors, instructors, trainers, coaches who are not producing at a maximum level as an individual agent or as a team leader. So if you want to be a certified master agent and use the logo and have the dialogue, these are the standards we're looking for. Okay. Would anybody, by the way, like to be an Abbey certified master agent? Okay. All right. We would love to certify you. New friends. We've had several new agents join us since our last meeting. Denise Pate, who was recently married in February. She's an experienced agent, has previously worked with Andre Guillory at another local company, but just a really, really sweet person and good agent. We're thrilled to have her on board. Morgan West has also joined us. She's a new agent. I never met her. I thought she was recruited by one of our mentors, and I made the comment yesterday, I've not met Morgan, I don't know who she is, and she's not here. And she jumped up and said, oh yes, I am, I'm here. And she introduced herself to all of us, including me, and explained how she got to Abbey Realty. She asked a friend of hers who's not an Abbey agent. She said, if you were starting your career over and could do anything and go anywhere, what would you do? And she said, I would go join Abbey Realty. And that agent is locked into a company who's providing her a salary to represent them at a condo complex, so she can't leave that base salary. Otherwise, she said, I would be there. She said, at some point when that goes away, I will join Abbey. And that's how Morgan got to us. So I'm always thrilled to hear that kind of stuff, that even non-Abbey agents are out there evangelizing for us. And then Gloria Fuentes has also joined us. Gloria is not here today. She is in New York wrapping up an $18 million commercial transaction that will close at Abbey Realty. If it closes, if nothing falls apart, it will close at Abbey Realty and set a very high mark for those of you who want the highest closed transaction in our brokerage. Right now, it's about 2.85 million. I think we have one higher than that pending right now that hasn't closed, but I'd love to see an 18 million. She's also got several $3 to $4 million commercial deals in the works. So I met with her last year, and she told me she couldn't join for a while because she had some commercial projects underway. Well, it's been a year, they're underway, and now she has joined us. She is an official Abbey agent and will be bringing these deals on board. So she'll be joining our commercial mastermind. She's very talented as a teacher, so I think you're going to be seeing her in probably different roles within the company, but very, very sharp young lady. Going to bring a lot to the company. So we're ready to move into our Abbey University portion. Well, let me just explain this, since the question was already asked. What happens in here on Monday morning? We do two things, and we've been doing two things from the very beginning of starting this company. First of all, we do a team meeting. So this is on Monday mornings, the Woodlands team meeting. Any agents in the Woodlands area are welcome to come. Any agent anywhere is welcome to come. But we do these meetings geographically. We have one in Cypress, we have them in Katy, we have them in Clear Lake, we have them in Conroe. We do them geographically so agents can attend. And these team meetings all do some of the exact same stuff. And it's what we do the first 30 minutes on Monday. We do news and updates, we introduce new agents, we remind you of events going on in the company, we introduce our sponsors and give them a chance to introduce themselves. We're going to continue to do that like we always have for our first 30 minutes or so. In the past, we've then rolled into our training portion, which we call the Aspire training classes. We're doing the exact same thing going forward. We're just rebranding them. Now they're going to be the Abbey University training classes. So it's a little difficult to understand. So I appreciate the opportunity to clarify, but Woodlands team meeting and then Abbey University. In our regional team meetings, they do the team meeting portion about 30 minutes, and then they have the opportunity to do a training class or bring in a vendor, trainer, or sponsor or someone like that to speak. They've got a lot of flexibility. Sometimes they will show our training classes on YouTube. Today, some of them are joining us live doing this. So they have a lot of flexibility, but that's what we'll continue to do here on Monday. So let's dive into the training portion of this meeting, Teams Q&A. As I mentioned, we have two emphases over the next 6 months, the next 19 meetings, maximizing your personal productivity and teaching you how to operate as a team. But because teams can be so confusing, I thought it would be great to kick it off just by answering a number of the most commonly asked questions that I get about teams. What is a team? What are Abbey team guidelines? What are Trek team guidelines? Are there other kinds of teams? What are the roles or positions on a team? What are the advantages and disadvantages of being on a team? How are team members compensated? Should I start a team? Should I join a team? And my favorite, I never want anything to do with teams, so why should I care? I'm going to answer all those questions. First of all, what is a team? A group of real estate professionals who work together under the guidance of a team leader to create greater opportunities for all. And I emphasize the greater opportunities for all. It's not just about building the ego of the team leader, publishing the name of the team leader, making the team leader wealthy. It has to be win-win relationships at every level. The buyer specialist has to love being a buyer specialist. And they love the fact that they're getting a steady flow of buyer leads. It really works for them. The transaction coordinator has to love coordinating transactions. They love the paper, they love the process, they love the administrative detail. It really works for them. It has to be greater opportunity for all in the role that they're playing, the work that they're doing, and in the money that they're making. So what are Abbey team guidelines? They're very simple. The team leader's cap, which is typically $10,000 as an individual agent, it goes up by $2,500 per year for each licensed team member. So if you want to hire a buyer's agent, your cap goes from $10,000 to $12,500. The team member doesn't have a cap. All of their commissions apply towards your cap. So now you have two people trying to cap at 12.5, at $112.5. If those two were individuals, they would each have a $10,000 cap. That's a total of how much? Easy math question. $20,000. So you see the financial advantage of having a team? Instead of having to cap at 20,000, these two people only have to meet one cap of 12.5. That means there's more money left over to share among the team. That's an advantage. That's one reason people form teams. All listings are taken in the name of the team leader. Although on the MLS, you can list team members as the point of contact. So on the yard sign, the main panel, it has to have the team leader's name or a team name. You might be the XYZ Stupendous Realty team. We can register that name with Trek. You can put that on the sign. If you want a team member getting the calls, then you put their name and phone number on a rider, up on top or off the bottom. Team leaders can recruit team members from within the company. It's okay. If there's an individual agent that you think would be a great buyer specialist, listing specialist, transaction coordinator, photographer, runner, whatever, and you want to recruit them, I'm okay with that. And I stress that because most real estate brokerages do not allow recruiting from within the company. And you can see why from a financial perspective. Valerie, you're taking Ralph, he's got a $10,000 cap. Now that's dropped to $2,500. You just took $7,500 out of my pocket, okay? That is not how I see it. I want agents in roles that they enjoy and can be productive. So it's perfectly fine. If you want to group up, form a team, recruit somebody within the company, they think their business is going to be a better place with you, then you go for it. I think it's awesome. By the same token, team members can leave a team and stay within Abbey Realty. So let's say you're working for Ralph this time. You're his team member. You work together for 2 years, but now you feel like you got it. You figured this business out. You want to go solo, be an individual agent. That's fine. You just transfer off the team and you're an individual agent within Abbey Realty. Some team leaders don't like that because they want you held captive. And if you ever leave, you got to go somewhere else. And you don't want to go somewhere else, so you're probably going to stay. That is not how we operate. And I'm very open with team leaders and team members that we hold each other loosely. We love them when they come. We bless them when they leave. Okay? We're not going to be suing each other. We're not going to be trying to hold each other handcuffed and hostage. And I hate to use this example because marriage is sacred, but just think about it. What percentage of marriages end in divorce? 50% or more. Very high. How likely is it that team member relationships are going to be till death do us part? Highly unlikely. They are temporary, transitory relationships. And some of them can last many years. Most of them last about 2 or 3 years. And as a team member, you need to be okay with that. As a team leader, you need to be okay with that. As people grow and develop and have different perspectives and different skill sets, they're going to want to be in a different role. And in Abbey Realty, I just want us to cultivate this culture and climate of that's okay. Join me for a while, go away if you want to. Yep, you're welcome to come back. Just very open. And we're going to help you, if you decide to be in a team relationship, to document how that relationship works so that when you do leave or someone leaves your team, it can be done without animosity, that all expectations are out in the open and everybody's playing according to the rule book. So next question, what are TREC team guidelines? They're also very simple. The team name must be registered with TREC if you have chosen a team name, and it can be named after the team leader, the Adam Olson team, or it can be the Stupendous Realty team. The team name just has to end in the word team or group. Those are TREC requirements, and it must be registered, and I do that, and you simply tell me. And by the way, you can do this as an individual agent. You can register a team name. You can be the Valerie team if you want to. We just have to register it with TREC, and then you can market yourself that way. The team leader must also take the broker responsibility test before every license renewal, not the test, take the broker responsibility course prior to every license renewal. Whether you are a broker or not, you are in a supervisory capacity, and TREC requires that you take the course. Okay, that's it. Very, very simple. There's nothing complicated from a TREC or Abbey perspective about starting a team. Are there other types of teams? Yes, there are. And sometimes this causes a lot of confusion. Within Abbey Realty, we have the Annie B group. It is a registered team with TREC. And Ann Buis is the one who has the lease on the only private space we have on our property, the office back behind the garage. She leases that, and then she has 3 other agents in there with her who market themselves as the Annie B group. But they're all individual agents. They all have their own compensation plan, their own $10,000 cap, but they just market themselves as a team or as a group because they believe it creates greater market awareness for them. When you have 4 people advertising the Annie B group, they think it creates a stronger presence, gives them a better story, better, higher listing inventory, that kind of thing. And then they help each other with open houses and passing out flyers. It's not technically a team from an Abbey perspective because they all have their own compensation plans, but it's perfectly fine to have this kind of a hybrid team where you're a team in name only for marketing purposes. So yes, if you want to do something like that, band together with a few other agents, you are more than welcome to do so. No restrictions on it. What are the roles on a typical team? And I say typical because every team is different. But you'll generally see these patterns of roles. The team leader, who leads the team, provides the majority of leads and or teaches team members how to generate leads. Buyer specialist, they convert buyer leads and service buyer clients. A listing specialist who converts seller leads and services seller clients. By the way, agents often ask when contemplating joining a team, do I have to choose? Can't I work with both buyers and sellers? And the answer is, talk to the team leader. Every team is different. You establish your own roles. The most efficient teams are specialized. The buyers specialists work with buyers, listing specialists work with sellers. But any kind of hybrid that everybody on the team is happy with, you are welcome to do that. Transaction coordinator handles all the marketing and administrative tasks. And this typically is divided into two different roles as the team grows. So there will be an administrative coordinator and then a marketing coordinator. An inside sales associate, a fairly new term in our industry, but you're hearing it more and more. You'll often hear the expression an ISA, inside sales associate. This is a licensed agent who stays in the office, thus the word inside, and they just work the phone and they work the computer all day long. Their role is to incubate leads until that prospect is ready to meet face-to-face with an agent. And at that point, they hand off the person to a buyer specialist or a listing specialist. And you can see why that would be so important today with all the emphasis on online leads. You can easily generate hundreds of online leads every month, especially using KB Core. Most of them will never turn into a transaction. You're world class if you convert 5% of them. And most agents get too discouraged trying to convert the other 95% and say, oh, these leads are garbage. They give up on them. While other agents are making zillions because they realize they're looking for the needle in the haystack and they just sift through the 95 to find the 5. But it takes a lot of time. And the answer that teams have come up with is the inside sales associate, somebody who loves sitting at a desk, working the phones and working the computer, developing rapport and relationship and providing homes to look at online, building trust, perhaps getting them connected with the lender to get pre-qualified until they're ready to go. Hand them off. And the ISA can be highly compensated for that role. A good ISA should be making 6 figures. And working 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, not a bad life. But if you're teeing up multiple face-to-face opportunities for your team every week, you're worth it. You're worth it. So that's the ISA. Other possible roles, a runner, somebody putting up the signs, filling the flyer boxes, a photographer, director of operations, and director of sales. That director of operations role is really the person who takes over running the team so that the team leader can be work optional. Now they can go move to Bora Bora if they want to, and essentially just have a once a week, hour-long conversation with the director of operations for accountability and strategic planning. That's it, leveraged out. You have the opportunity to do that as a team leader. And you can do it fairly soon. You can hit that mark at 8, 9, 10 team members. Depending on your financial needs and aspirations, you can leverage yourself out and turn that team into a passive source of mailbox money, where the checks are just going into your bank automatically. Pretty cool. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of being on a team? I'm going to do both for both team leader and team member. Team leader disadvantages, and these are I've been a team leader. I'm speaking from experience. Your clients may resist working with team members. They've bonded with you. They don't want to be pawned off on somebody else. They went to kindergarten with you. They go to church with you. They don't know this team member. And if you're going to pawn them off, they'll just go find an agent they do know. They'll use one of the other dozen agents that they know on a first name basis. It's a real challenge. Your team members may not be as good or as committed as you are. You no longer control every aspect of your business. There's people out there representing you. You're not at the kitchen table. You don't know what they're saying. Your business and income may decline in the early stages of building your team, because now you're working with your team members, you're devoting time to them, making sure that they're trained, that they're skilled, as opposed to direct buyer-seller contact. You're now responsible for the livelihood of others. And that can be daunting, that can be a burden. Now it's not just my family, there's 3 or 4 families dependent on me. I can't tell you since I started Abbey Realty how many people have told me, Frank, take care of yourself. A lot of people dependent on you. Somebody told me that yesterday. Don't die, okay? Stay in good health, okay? Keep your mind right. Don't get in trouble. Don't do drugs, okay? Live clean. A lot of families dependent on you, okay? That's true of a team leader. You have to take on a training and mentoring role. And Abby will do a lot of the training of your team members, but there's still no substitute for you walking them through the implementation of those tasks. You have to document all your systems and processes, because what's in your head doesn't automatically transfer to their head. By the way, we're going to help you with that, right? We're going to give you the checklist. So we're going to make it really easy to create a systems-based business. You have to hold others accountable for their performance. Some people simply can't do that. They're so non-confrontational, they can't ever hold up a mirror to somebody else and say, Ralph, hey, I appreciate you, buddy. Last week you said you were going to do 20 door knocks. Did you do any? Oh, you did? You did 5? Whatever happened to the other 15? Some people can't have that conversation. And if you can't, you should not be a team leader. Okay, you have to have the tough conversations. Potential for conflicts when or if team members leave, including the loss of clients who bonded with the departing team member. Maybe you did go to kindergarten with them, but your buyer specialist worked with them and they really liked that buyer specialist. The buyer specialist goes off your team, they want to stick with the buyer specialist. That can be a real challenge. And we'll teach you how to document what will happen, set clear expectations, but that still doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Team leader advantages. With all those disadvantages, why would anybody ever create a team? Well, here goes. Here's why. You leverage the time, talent, and energies of others. You can't do that as an individual agent, not to the extent you can as a team leader. And that's where you really can create quality of life in real estate, high income and high time away from the business. You can only do that as a team leader. You can add expertise that you lack. Maybe you're great with clients, but you hate the paperwork. As an individual agent, you're wearing the paperwork hat. As a team leader, you can hire an admin to do that for you. You can delegate aspects of the business that you don't like. You get days off coverage. You can go on a cruise and not worry that the phone is not being answered, or the homes aren't being showed, or the offers aren't being negotiated. You have people to do that while you're away. It forces you to create a systems-based business, which is highly efficient. Forces you to learn new management, leadership, and technology skills, which is highly satisfying, I think, to grow as a person. It can be highly profitable. You have the joy of helping others learn and grow, and it provides additional sources of leads. For example, you have a sphere of influence. You hire a buyer specialist. Guess what? They have a sphere of influence. So now we've tapped into a whole new circle of relationships that can generate business for us. So those are some of the key team leader advantages. Let's talk about team members for a moment. If I can get the slide to change. There we go. Team member disadvantages. Someone else is making the rules. You just have to acknowledge that. You have a boss now, the team leader. You're accountable for your performance. Some people hate that. They don't want to answer the question why they didn't do 20 door knocks, or why they didn't call this online lead back one time every day for 10 days like our team requires. They don't want to answer that question. You get a lower split on each deal. You can't build your own brand. You're building your team leader's brand. And there are potential conflicts when and if you leave the team. So why would anybody ever join a team? Here goes. Leads. That's the #1 reason team members join a team. And it's the #1 responsibility of a team leader to provide those leads. You maximize your personal productivity as an individual agent, but you've got more opportunities that you can follow up on. You need to start a team. Just provide those overflow leads. Online leads, open house leads, leads from your lender, all these different sources, you're providing leads. Some agents, and I would almost dare to say the majority of agents struggle most in this business with lead generation. They're great with clients. They can figure out the technology. They can figure out the contracts. They can negotiate the deal. They can make a new friend, but they just don't have any friends to make. They don't have any clients to service. They struggle on the front end of getting the relationship. Well, if that's you, you should consider joining a team, because that's what the team leader is good at. They can generate the opportunities. They just don't have the time to follow up on all of them. So that's where it can really be a win-win. You get an inside look at how a highly productive agent runs their business. Talk about a master's level education in real estate. You get it as a team member. You get coverage for your days off, which you don't have as an individual agent. You can specialize in what you enjoy and do well. If you hate sellers, you don't have to work with sellers anymore. And they tend to be cranky and demanding and unreasonable. Well, guess what? I only work with buyers now. I'm a buyer specialist. That's an advantage of being on a team. You have a sense of being part of something larger than yourself, and you have a built-in mastermind, a family for encouragement and troubleshooting, built-in mentoring. So lots of advantage for team members. So next question, how are team members compensated? Every team is different. That's my disclosure. Most team members pay their own realtor expenses, HAR, MLS, Supra. Typically, there will be a different split depending on the source of the lead. And these are just example numbers. Every team is different. Maybe a 50-50 on leads provided by the team leader, maybe 60-40 on leads provided by the team member. In other words, this is my sphere. It's my mama, my cousin, my friend, whatever. I generated the lead. The split is applied after the brokerage split and fees are paid. And then sometimes team members will contribute some modest amount every month towards team expenses, maybe $100 a month towards a Zillow account or something of that nature. And here's a side-by-side comparison of how that looks. Just by example, on a 50-50 split, say it's an $8,000 commission, the cap hasn't been met yet, so there's a $1,600 20% broker split, $100 transaction fee, that leaves $6,300 available to split. On a 50-50, the team member makes $3,150. Very straightforward. If that agent were an individual, not on a team, that $8,000 commission is still subject to the split and the transaction fee, but now they're walking away with $6,300 instead of $3,150. That sounds like a lot better deal, doesn't it? Why would anybody join teams then to get the $3,150? You get more of them. A whole bunch of 3150s is more than one or two 6300s. That's why people join teams. You join a team, you make less on every deal, but the deals just keep rolling. They just keep coming. And you don't have the stress of generating the deal, of getting the lead, of making that happen. The team leader's just dumping them in your lap, and all you're doing is cultivating that relationship and showing pretty houses, negotiating deals, and going to closing. You know, you do 2 or 3 3150s a month, you're going to be all right. Most agents be very, very happy with that. And that's easily done on a team. So should you start a team? You probably should, if these factors are true. You're maxed out on your personal productivity, doing 30 to 36 deals a year. You have excess leads or know where to get them. And by the typical common industry norms, team members can handle about 30 leads a month, about 150 total in their pipeline. Any more than that, team members will start cherry picking leads, only working with the best ones, the hot ones, when there's deals to be had in the others. So if you're team leader, don't give them more than 30 a month. You have documented your processes and automated everything else. Systems run your business, people run your systems. Your financial aspirations go beyond your current income. And you have the willingness and ability to coach and mentor other agents. Abby will train them. We'll train your buyer specialist. We'll train your transaction coordinator. We'll train your listing specialist, but you're still going to have to be there for personal attention and answering questions. Should you join a team? Perhaps. If you love this business but are struggling to gain traction, you just don't have enough people to work with. You love serving clients but have trouble finding them. You feel isolated and would prefer to work in a team environment. You're willing to give up a significant portion of each commission in exchange for team benefits. You're humble enough to let someone else establish the rules and guidelines for your business. You have a boss. And you want to have your own team someday, maybe, and would benefit from an inside view of how a great team operates. I've sent several agents outside Abbey to other companies. They've had great opportunities to join high-performing teams at other companies, and I say, go, take it. Learn everything you can. Build your cash flow, get some savings built, and then come back to Abbey, and we'll launch you as a team leader. There's advantages there of learning how a high-performing team operates. And the last question, I would never want anything to do with teams, so why should I care? Very simply, by studying how great teams operate, you're going to operate more efficiently. By systematizing your business, using the same systems a team lead, it makes it very easy to leverage into a team when you want to start. But if you're just random, if it's all in your head, then you won't be able to duplicate transaction to transaction the highest level of service, and you won't be able to replicate it through other people when it's time to start a team. So my great conviction is every agent should operate as a team of one until you are a team of 2 or 3 or 4. Think of yourself as a team leader because you are a team. You are the transaction coordinator, you're the buyer specialist, you're the team leader, the listing specialist, the runner. You're doing all these roles, you are a team. And then ultimately, you're just going to add other people to your team. But if you look at it that way, you can build a highly efficient, effective business. One more question, bonus question. Where can I learn everything I need to know about how great teams operate, even teams of one? Where could I get that information? There's a hidden answer. Do you see it, Valerie? It's right before you. It's like finding the fox and the hound picture. It's right there. Very subliminal. You were right. You found it, Abbey Realty. We're going to be teaching these classes, really focusing on them the next 19 weeks, which is going to take us to our last training session in December. Every Monday, we'll start with our team meeting portion at 10, and around 10:30, we'll be teaching either how to maximize your personal productivity as a team of one, on how then to take that to a team of 2 or more, should your aspirations and needs require that. Okay? That's what I wanted to share with you today. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. I think we're right at 12 o'clock, so we're right on time. Any final questions? And I will take a quick look at our chat. If you have any questions you want to pose there, I'll try to respond to them. Let me take a quick look. Lori was like, I went to church and the message was just for me. It was, Lori, this was all for you. I had you in mind when we did this. Everything you said about discouragement and quitting and, oh, I won't read all this. Yeah, okay. All right, Lori. Well, delighted that you were here to share in it. Anybody else? Yes, Ralph?
2 questions. Number 1, with regards to all the pay.
Yes.
Is that still taken care of here?
Yes, so when a team presents their CDA, you just break down how much the team leader gets, how much the team member gets, how much you're paying your ISA, and it's all paid out at closing by the title company.
And with regards to if you have, if you're selling a house and somebody within the team brings a buyer.
Yes. That's okay. So the question is, if the team has a listing and someone on the team brings a buyer, how is that handled? It's an intermediary, just like it would if it was any other Abbey agent bringing the buyer.
Okay. On the paperwork, would you put that person's name?
Yes. So you're going to list the listing agent, which is going to be the team leader, and then whoever on the team brings the buyer. I presume that's going to be the buyer specialist. They are representing the buyer. And on the 1 to 4 family offer contract, there's space for that. If it's a non-intermediary transaction, the listing agent goes on the right, the buyer agent brokerage goes on the left. But if it's intermediary, The listing brokerage is on the top, and then the buyer agent from the same brokerage is right below that on the right. It's right there in the contract. Very easily done.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Other questions? All right, just one more check of our chat. I think everybody there is good. Appreciate y'all joining me, hanging in there. I know it's a 2-hour slog, but I had a lot of fun. Hope you did. And I'll be turning off the recording now, and we'll get this posted up to YouTube just as soon as it's ready. All right.
Frank, that was great. Second time.
Were you here yesterday too?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's the path to mastery. Nobody gets it once. One right on. Oh, thank you. I will be reaching out to them probably tomorrow. Come on in.
I got you lunch, but
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll eat it in my office while we talk. Hey, is that who you had out back?
yes.
What's that?
We're gonna go lunch.
Go to lunch. Then bring her back.
Alrighty.